The heart of the health segment, and that of course is brought to you in part by Mia Milan and the Bhekisisa Center for Health Journalism. So Mia, you were speaking to Dr. Nicholas Cripps just a short while ago. Among the things that he's mentioned, which is also backed by science, is that if we make getting to vaccination sites much easier, we are likely to see more people rocking up for the jab. But I wonder if we have any examples of that currently.
We've got great examples in South Africa, and one such example is the Houghton Masjid in Johannesburg, where you can do a drive-thru vaccination. You really can arrive in your car and get vaccinated. And just as an example of how well that works, we see very, very high numbers of vaccinations done at that site. So just yesterday, that site alone did about a quarter of Gauteng's vaccinations in the entire province. So it clearly works to make it easy. And the site is run by the Muslim Association of South Africa in collaboration with the Gauteng Health Department. So let's speak to Dr. Yaseen Theba, the chairperson of the Muslim Association of South Africa, about just how they make that work. Mr. Theba, how does a drive-thru site work? Do you really arrive in your car and then you vaccinate someone? And do you need an appointment? And how long is the waiting period when someone goes to your site?
Hi, Mia. Thank you for the introduction. Let me firstly correct you. I am not a doctor. I am just a volunteer in the area on the site, and have taken responsibility on managing the site. Preferably, we don't want people to get off the car, so we've created a process where people get vaccinated in their vehicles. And we created a process where if people are not registered, we've got volunteers that register them while they're waiting to get vaccinated. We've streamlined the process to make it as easy and as accessible for people as possible. You don't need to be on a medical aid. There's no costs. There's no charges. And ultimately, it just makes it very, very easy for people to get vaccinated.
So do people need to make an appointment? Can they just turn up? And also, how long do they wait to get helped at your site?
People can just turn up. A lot of people, we underestimate how many South Africans don't have access to data or smartphones to get registered. So we make it as easy and as accessible for people. You can just pull up. Volunteers will assist you to get into the main marquee where you get vaccinated. And while you're waiting, the registration process goes on, the screening process goes on. So by the time you get to the doctor and the vaccinators, all the admin is almost done, and it's just the process of then getting your vaccination done.
So your site is run almost entirely by volunteers. Where do you find medical personnel who's willing to do this for free?
We're very fortunate in and around our area. We've got a lot of hospitals and a lot of specialists that live in the area that volunteer on some of our previous projects. So we're fortunate that we rope them in, and without their assistance and out their help, the local doctors and paramedics assisting us, we wouldn't have had such a well-oiled machine. We've genuinely got dentists, anesthesiasts, a whole range of super specialists, cardiologists, all assisting us on site, and it's all voluntary. They all come and provide their hours. We've got a 90-year-old doctor that assists us every day for an hour. He's retired, but he feels that he needs to aid and he needs to play his part in getting people vaccinated, and he's been one of the very active doctors coming every day and vaccinating for at least an hour every day.
So it's great that you've mentioned that you have medical specialists who are willing to vaccinate people. You don't just use nurses, because people really want to bring their part and play their part. But you've also got a really, really great Twitter campaign where you have hashtags and where you promote your vaccinations. So if you have to look at lessons that you've learned so far and that other vaccination sites could perhaps learn from you, what would be those lessons?
I think we need to use every platform possible to reach out to people, to get people to be vaccinated. None of us are protected until all of us are protected. So I think every one of us need to use every platform possible. And one of the tools that we use is a bit of a social media campaign. We basically dealing with people that have questions around the vaccine, and we're trying to resolve some of those questions, get them more comfortable answering some of those questions. But again, if people see familiar faces, doctors that they know, people that they know from the area, vaccinating, automatically you get more people mobilized and more people vaccinated. But again, it's all in our quest to get more people vaccinated. We need to reach out. Our group in particular, we've got a number of volunteers that go out every weekend to get people vaccinated. This is done in partnership again with the Gauteng Department of Health, and we basically establish areas that need vaccination, and there's keen people that are looking for vaccination and don't have access to vaccination. So we go out to them. But I think the important thing is that we need to use our resources, not just social media. Businesses need to put posters up about vaccination. Doctors need to get vocal about vaccination. We need everyone to mobilize around vaccination so that we can all get back to some sort of normality.
Thanks very much, Mr. Theba. That was Yaseen Theba. He is the chairperson of the Muslim Association of South Africa.